I don't know if you're aware of the tiny home movement. I currently have a tiny home, or the shell of a tiny home, also known as a trailer in some parts of the country. I come from Indiana. We actually call it a trailer park, but I prefer tiny home. I'm in the midst of a remodel, so I had to gut the old fridge because it was full of maggots, and I had to replace it with a new one, which I haven't purchased yet because I'm not done remodeling the kitchen. If I'm going to talk about how I start my day, I have to talk about how I end my evening. So I end my evening typically to going to either Whole Foods or Lazy Acres and getting a cold brew coffee. I set it next to my bed. This is totally true. Jay's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I open the cap, I take about 5 gulps of that, and then I go back to sleep for about 10 minutes until the amp starts to kick in, and then that's how I start my day. That's not my actual coffee. So my actual coffee is I use the Starbucks app, which is fantastic. If you haven't used it, I highly recommend it. I order my venti cold brew with light ice, hook around, hit Starbucks, get my venti, walk in, grab it, pull it, chug it, ready to rock.
Hello.
Hey.
What you doing?
I'm driving to work. Well, I call my mom every morning. Sometimes today she didn't answer, which I'm kind of bummed about. But just to talk about current events. Sometimes Donald Trump, sometimes the t-shirt industry. See how it goes. FYI, you're me and we're shooting a day in the life of me right now, so you're on camera.
Oh, lovely.
So does that act totally normal, like there's no camera on?
I'll do my best.
Sometimes I tell her about my ideas on how to remodel Gary, Indiana. My latest concept, 100% American-made city. That's my goal. Yeah. And to be the mayor at some point. It's hard to act natural when there's a camera, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You
should have told me afterwards.
I've been in the t-shirt industry for probably, I prefer apparel because we do more than just t-shirts, right?
How long have you been in the apparel business?
The apparel business, like 9 years-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time on the computer, checking emails, going through, business papers.
Doing business stuff.
Doing business stuff, labels and such, printing, screens. There's a lot of trim that goes on, P&Ls. It's not all work. Sometimes there's play, but usually just business. I have 14 minutes?
14 minutes. All right, who's going to win out of you and Chase?
I think I might be able to beat Chase in this. I don't know. He's gotten a lot better, so I think he might be next. Yeah, they're all moms, man. They're all super competitive. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's all the moms class. It's the most competitive class, I'd say. Chase always beats me, so I don't really like trying to keep up with Chase.
So, what percentage of the day do you think you guys are shirtless?
100. Ideally 100.
My grandest achievement in CrossFit was I was in the 2009 CrossFit Regionals. I was a walk-on because you could do that back then. And I believe I got around 75th place out of like 150 dudes. So, that was probably my crowning achievement. I don't have any other ones, to be honest with you, I don't think.
You had some yearly goals for 2016.
Oh, I don't really remember, to be honest. I didn't achieve any of them, but I tried to get 260 workouts in. I also wanted to surf 50 times. As you can see, I surfed 4. We were gonna go to get some salted meats and then go on our second coffee run because I'm just not feeling the full amp that I need to for this day. I think it has a lot to do with the weather. It's only 63 and it's partly cloudy.
Tell me a little bit about your diet in 20 seconds.
I eat salted meats primarily. That's a broad question. What kind of meat? Are we talking about salted meats, preserved meats, smoked meats? I mean, I don't really like just straight turkey breasts from the deli, if that's what you're asking. Fat and protein. I'm the keto kid. I like perfect bars sometimes. Outside of family and, girlfriend and, things like that, my 3 daily favorite things would be cold brew coffee. Like a half workout. Soda water, because regular water is garbage. And then some form of salted meat, preferably within every 3 to 4 hours. I think that owning a gym is, not just owning it, but being ingrained in this community is the reason ASRX exists in the first place. So, I think that having been part of action sports culture in the past and understanding that the brands that I grew up liking were people that did those sports led me to doing what ASRX is, which is, representing the lifestyle of the sport that we do. So I think it's not just important, it's necessary to actually have a brand. Otherwise, it's just trying to sell a bunch of t-shirts. I think there's a lot of different brands I really look up to in the apparel industry and outside the apparel industry too. Volcom was one of my favorite brands when I was a kid, just because they seemed to be a little bit more core back when they were, when they were core. And Patagonia is an amazing company, the way that they create their culture, and there's a lot of new brands out there that are doing things that are, they represent their communities well, and they're not there just to make a dollar. And even CrossFit headquarters themselves, they're not an apparel brand, but a lot of what they represent and what they do is kind of something that I've always based a lot of the ideas and methodologies of what we've done as a brand. Culturally, we try to be who we want to be, and we don't really try to venture outside and figure out what other brands are doing. So to be honest, I don't really know what these other brands are doing. So I don't really know what differentiates us. I think we just try to be unique in our own way, and so maybe that's what makes us different, is we're open to do whatever we feel like is creative. It's just rise and grind, man. Sometimes I find myself waking up before I even go to bed, because I'm mopping and polishing my mirrors in the bathroom, just to make sure that everyone has a clean environment to work in and change their lifestyle with fitness.
You could have gone for 20 minutes.
I could keep going. It was actually easier than I thought. I'm sweating though, probably because I downed all my coffee. You know what's a bad thing to do? Is when you get nervous, to have your nervous tick to just drink more coffee, because all that does is just make it worse.